year, and it's called Cape and Ray Bible School, and we met a woman named Sue Gilmore there, and she was the pastoral care for the girls at the school. She has since retired, but we got to get really close with her, and she had us over in her literal English cottage for tea and toast many times. She has an incredible relationship with Jesus, and I would say she's the British version of Billy Philman, so that can give you a picture of what she's like. So she wrote this, and then you'll hear one more name in what she wrote. His name is Matty, or in England they say Matty. He's the one who took her office because she's retired, so when you hear his name, you'll know that's who he is. So it's called The Land That Stretches Afar. So she writes, I really appreciated Matty's article in the previous newsletter. He returned to work after months of furlough to a familiar view as he looked out of his office window. I know something of the view he missed. It has been just over a year since I retired from working at the hall, that's Cape and Ray Hall, and oh, how I miss the views. The view driving into work, coming over the bridge, and seeing the hall majestic in the middle distance, surrounded by ancient trees, sheep and cows grazing lazily in the morning mist, and all around the greenest of green fields. Once in my office, the view changed, but still I enjoyed what I saw. Students noisy and eager walking over the bridge into the conference hall for classes, not realizing that for some of them, their lives would never be the same again. These images remain fixed yet faint in my memory, but I'm glad Matty is once again enjoying what he sees from his office window. I may miss and mourn the kaleidoscope of images and views that once were so familiar to me, but now my eyes are adjusting to a view that is smaller, less green, with more older people than young in my vision. Whether you are in an office with every shade of green carpeting your view, or in a street where the harshness of gray and stone are what you see, we should never forget the view of the land that stretches afar, Isaiah 33:17. What is this land we are to remember? It is the land where the King in his beauty dwells. Pain, conflict, unresolved issues, difficult circumstances, rejection makes us long for that land, if only to put an end to what we might be going through. Or there may be those of us who long for the land to be together again with those whom we love, as heaven seems to be filling up rather quickly these days with so many of our dear ones who have been called home. Until that day comes when I no longer see through a glass darkly, but instead Jesus face to face. I want to be someone who looks beyond what I see to the horizon that promises no more death, no more sin, and no more pain, but the King in all his beauty. I want to have this King in my sights as I listen to the news and hear the latest tragedies and injustices. I don't want double or blurred vision as I look and listen to the views of people in high places and what they are saying about the pandemic, the economy, the future. I don't want any blind spots that keep me from living in hope and anticipation of the land that stretches afar. I want the views I see to be filtered through the sure and certain knowledge that one day a trumpet will sound, and in the twinkling of an eye, every eye will see him. The deaf will hear, the blind will see, and the lame shall walk. What can you see as you look out of your window? We all need to have the courage to believe that there is more that we cannot see, and one day we will see the King in his beauty, and that will be the best view of all. And only then will we know why the pain, the sorrow, the sadness. But somehow I think it will no longer matter when we see Jesus the King there in that land, still bearing the scars of our salvation. Until then, let's not allow our view to be blinded and blinkered by what we can see, the temporal, but let's fix the eyes of our hearts on the eternal unseen. 2 Corinthians 4:18. So Sue, if you want to come up, I'll pray for you. God, I thank you so much for who you are, that you're the King, that your promises are sure, and that we have life eternal to look forward to with you. God, I thank you so much for this woman named Sue Sawyer who believes in you and fixes her eyes on you, who depends on you. And I just pray for these next minutes as she shares, Lord, would you give her a fresh filling of the Spirit inside of her? Lord, would you remind her and content her heart as she speaks, that what she's speaking is true and it's of you. Lord, may the words that come out of her mouth be placed deeply in our hearts this morning, that we would be women who continually, daily, and minute by minute learn to walk with you in a way that looks towards what you promise in the future. that these afflictions and suffering are temporal, and that we really have so much hope in you. Without you, we have no hope, and we can't imagine life without you. So, Lord, as we listen to these words, would they convict us? Would they actually change us and transform our hearts and our hands and our feet and our eyes? We love you, and we commit this time to you. Thank you for Sue and who you made her to be. Amen.
Amen.